Is Clinique worth the money for mature skin? I'm Laura Ray. We're going to test out some Clinique makeup today. I use Clinique a lot in my 20s, 30s, 40s, not as much in my 50s. So I went out and purchased quite a bit of Clinique. I wanted to try it out on my mature skin and see, is it worth it? We're going to do a wear test. So right now, let's see, it's 4:55 in the morning. And I'm going to put this makeup on. And when I get home from school today, film the end. How did it look at the end of a very long day? Black Honey has been a long-time favorite lipstick of mine. I purchased it for many years, well over 20. But now as I've gotten older, I feel like it's a little dark for me. But I'm going to put some on and then take it off and put on Pink Honey, which I think is sort of a better look for me. I love how these glide on. I like the actual tube that the lipstick comes in, this shape. It's very moisturizing. I like it because you don't need a gloss. It's got a glossiness to it. It tends to last on my lips a really long time, and I do think it gives a lot of color to the face, but I think a lot of people would feel this is too deep for my skin tone and maybe for my age, that it might draw more attention to wrinkles around the mouth and that kind of thing. So I'm going to wipe it off. I still wear it anyway. And let's put on Pink Honey, which is not as famous or well known, but I think it's beautiful. This is a little lighter, as you can see, than my natural lip tone. I think that's really pretty. And I love this shade because it would go with just about anything I would wear. And again, the packaging, I think the slim packaging is so beautiful. Let's go ahead and prime the eyes. Until recently, I'd never tried their eye primer. I love the packaging again. I think overall, I'm not going to keep saying that, I like their packaging. Some of it I'm a little not as in love with, like the eye palette, because of it being silver like this. You can see every fingerprint. I just keep wanting to do this every time that I pick it up. So this I don't like so much. This green packaging, which I know they've had for a very long time, I've seen it on their lipsticks, I really like. It doesn't show prints. It just looks, I think, very classic. Now, this is their eyeshadow primer, and this could be worn alone. This is such a pretty color. Now, they have 3 shades. One is sort of like a more pearl looking. Then they have one called Canvas, I believe, that's more of a flat matte. This is flat. This is called Nude Rose. So this doesn't have any sparkle or anything in it. And you could just apply it to the mobile lid and sort of have a nice eyeshadow look like you would with any cream shadow. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up under the brow very softly. It's very thin. I would say the feel of this on the eyes is thinner than the MAC paint pots. I've had several of those over the years. I have some in my collection now. And this formula just is a lot thinner. Let me show you on my hand too. Just see, it's not as thick. It goes on very thin. I can almost see my skin peeking through a little bit. So it's not quite as thick as the MAC. Well, I bought an eyeshadow palette to try for this video. I've tried it out a couple of times and really enjoyed it. It's the Pink Honey palette that they have. And I thought this would be perfect to go along with the lipstick. And I'm using one of my Angie brushes. This is the A502. This is sort of a medium size. Here's the smaller one I'm so in love with, the A504, and I like this because you can do very detailed work. I think everyone needs a smaller brush to work with because you can just use it as a liner, you can get in the crease, you can do under the eyes with something this tiny. So I actually like to go in first with this because I have a little more control about where I'm placing the product. So let's try going in with this neutral here to start. This palette is like a mixture of neutrals and pinks. And actually, I think what I want to do is grab my thicker brush. This is the A503 and just blend it a little bit better on the lid. So what I'm doing is starting with a base of the more taupey shades and then putting on some of the pink, just giving this as a base. Let's go in the other eye. I'm just going to go on with the fluffy brush. This works really good. And then we'll go in and do some detail. When I'm working on my eyes, I like to go back and forth and sort of try to build the same amount of shadow on each eye. I prefer to do that over just doing one eye first. Let's put some of this brighter pink here. I'm going to just pat this on the eye. It's got a slight shimmer to it. I'm going to be applying some Clinique liner, but what I want to do is get really close to the lash line with the brown. So I'm going to get closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing better. And this is the 208 brush, BK Beauty. It's so tiny, it's perfect for lining across the eyes. Now you could use also this for your brows. But what I'm trying to do is get down in that lash line to make the lashes look thicker. And just give a little more definition to my eyes. Now what I like to do at the end is just take it on an angle and pull up. Just a little flick. See the difference between this lash line and this one without the powder? I like to do this even before I line, sort of double line, and it gives more definition. You notice today too, I'm doing all my eye work before I do the foundation. I really like doing that, especially a lot of the foundations they're coming out with are very dewy. And if they haven't dried down yet, you're doing your eye makeup, all of a sudden you'll find powder and things stuck to the face. So I really enjoy doing the eyes first, and that sort of gives me my base of color that I'm working with. And then I judge how much blush and stuff that I'm going to put on afterwards. I also like putting the lipstick on because it gives me, again, that color, so I don't put too much blush or too much bronzer. I use the eyes and lips as my color base. I think it would be beautiful to use one of these softer shades here under the eyes. So I'm taking that same brush and we're just going to sort of connect this. If I go a little beneath the lash line and make a mess, I'm going to clean it up with my micellar water. So I don't worry about making a mess. Let's take a look at the difference that makes between the two eyes. Now, some of you might not like that look, and that's okay. I don't always go under the lash line. All right, so I think we're good up to that point. Now let's go ahead in with some mascara. Now, I have bought this mascara before, the High Impact, and I really like it. But Clinique has out a brand new mascara. This is called the High Impact Hi-Fi full volume mascara. I think on the packaging it said it's supposed to give you like 240% more volume, something like that. Now this has the traditional wand like we're used to, which catches the lashes more. It's not plastic. And I'm just going to get down in those lashes. Now, one thing I love about this brush that I think helps the mascara to work better or, go apply better is it has this point. So I can go this way. I can go vertical with the wand and horizontal. So I can get those inner lashes that are a little more difficult to get. I like sort of applying it that way first, then getting down at that base and doing the wiggle. And I sort of even blink too, just so I can get in the lashes. My lashes definitely look lifted and have a lot more volume. You can't even hardly see them here. And then look at what I've got here. So I think this applied very nicely. It doesn't seem to be clumping. Just comb through them a little bit more. Very nice. I like the way this applied. Let's go ahead and do the other eye now. Wow, that's a big difference between this eye and this one. A good mascara can make such a difference. So let's go ahead like I did before and go down into the lashes with the point. Now I don't remember. Let's open the High Impact, the regular one, and see what that one looks like. That is more straight. So the wands are different between the two mascaras. I do love that one. My daughter got me one of those little kits that had like a liner, mascara, a smaller size, I believe for my birthday back in July. And I fell back in love with that High Impact and went and bought a full tube. So I bought the other tube that I just showed you. I didn't open it for a while, so it's pretty fresh. Now what I like about this, it seems to be keeping my lashes very curled. So we'll see at the end of the day how my lashes look. But they look nice and curled. I love that when mascaras do that. Certain ones I have make them look like I've curled my lashes when I haven't. And I really don't like curling my lashes because I just think it's sort of harsh on the lashes over time. So I like that I won't have to curl them to get the look. Okay, I think that looks great. What do you think? Should I put mascara in the under eyes? Why not? Let's go for it. I don't always do that, but in these wear tests, I'm always curious, like, would it last on those lower lashes? Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit and then we'll clean that up. Next, we'll go ahead in with our foundation, and that is the Clinique Even Better Clinical. This is a serum foundation. It does have a sunscreen in it of 25. Right now on my skin, I have just some moisturizer and a little bit of the eye gel, the Vichy mineral that I've talked about. And you need very little of this foundation. I've tried it out. I tried it in the store, actually. I tried a little sample of it and sort of matched my skin there. Now, it is very close to my skin. It's not going to warm me up a lot, but it's very close to my skin tone when it's blended out. Now, look at the coverage you get. I barely put any on. So, the lady that works for Clinique that was helping me pick the color said that just a dot. Now, I know on camera it's looking very white right now, but once it blends in, I thought it looked really close to my own skin tone. And I'm going up under the eye. They do have, of course, a long line of concealers in Clinique that you can match close to your skin. This is CN10 Alabaster is the shade. that I'm wearing now. And what I like about this, I have worn it a couple of times, is that it dries down. Some of these foundations now that they're coming out with are just so dewy, they never fully dry. And then you look later and it's a mess. So I like that this does dry down. And I just want to show you one side versus with without it. I literally use so little of this. I put a little bit on the back of my hand, spread it out, and I've used maybe about half of what I put out there. But look at how beautiful that looks. And you can always go in and sort of press it into the skin to blend. I like to do that where I have some fine lines where the foundation might miss. And I see already it's not collecting here in the fine lines, which some foundations I test do, and it's not collecting here. So that's a real plus. Let's go ahead and finish up. What I love, if you have any redness, this really hides redness. And of course, I just washed my face before I came on camera, so my skin was just a little pink from that. But normally I wouldn't have much redness. And the brush I'm using today is from Nikki LaRose, BK Beauty. This is her foundation brush. It's called the N17. If you were curious, I usually get questions in the comments below about brushes, so I wanted to include that. I don't need concealer. I had redness here and here that normally with some foundations I would need concealer, but I'm not going to need it at all. I'm going to bring some down to the neck. It's funny because in these lights, it looks a lot lighter than it did in my bathroom. But I've noticed too, as the day goes on and my own natural oils come out and it might thin out a little bit, it matches my skin tone really well. Well, let's move on to blush. I had this blush in my collection because I've always enjoyed Clinique blush a lot. This is the shade Sunset Glow. And it's really beautiful in the fact that it's just got a slight bit of iridescence to it. I like that about Clinique. The products don't sort of hit you in the face. They're a little more soft, a little more mature skin friendly. I'm going to go in with this brush. This is the N15, and just sort of tap in and tap in on the cheeks. Very pretty. I like this in the fact that it's sort of like a blush bronzer all in one. As a matter of fact, since I don't have a bronzer from Clinique, I'm just going to bring this up around the hairline because I really do like having a little bit of color there, just like I was hit by the sun. It is a windy day here in Florida, and it's going to be overcast from what I've heard, and I won't be spending very much time outside, so this will give me a little extra color. I'm going to add a little just to the perimeter of the face, just to warm me up. So there you go. That's Sunset Glow, number 107. Now let's put a little highlighter. I've been wanting to try this for so long. It's one of their chubby sticks. It's the Hefty Highlight 01, and it's definitely got a pink look to it. Beautiful. Just that lit from within. I'm just going to apply it and then pat it with my fingers. I don't even need a brush. I could put a little bit here, right on the bridge of the nose. I even like to add products like this a little under the brow. All right, so the only other things I wanted to tell you about, I didn't put this on today, but I bought this stick, and I'll show it in another video coming up. This has powder on one side for eyeshadow. I've used that as a liner too. And then This side has a crayon, and this is a beautiful green. I thought that was such an interesting color. This one is their high impact shadow play, and the shade is mixed greens. Now, I never applied my liner. I got so happy with the powder, I never applied the Clinique liner. Let's go ahead and do some of that. This is the shade Intense Midnight, and it's a navy liner. I really wanted something that would bring out the hazel in my eyes. So instead of buying brown, I went ahead and bought this shade. I'm going to take a little brush and smudge that out a little bit. Let's take that little BK Beauty brush, that 208. It's so cute, so tiny. This would be good for detail for the lips too, if you were trying to do lip liner. Before we take our final look, I want to show you one more lipstick. This is their pop lipsticks that they have. This is called Blush Pop. And this is my jam. This is one of the shades I always love so much from any line. Just sort of a mauve shade. Look at how that glides. I think this is the shade that I'll wear today to school. Let's take one final look. Foundation's looking good. It's not collecting there. I think it looks great in the under eyes. It didn't dry me out. I've used Clinique lipsticks for so many years. They're always top quality. They're more than drugstore, but not as much as some high end. I think the blush looks really pretty with the highlighter. So again, it's so early in the morning, but I'm finishing getting ready for work. And when I come back, I'll show you how it all lasted. Well, I'm back. It's 5:36 in the evening. It's been a long day, and I got a mixed bag of stuff here for you. First of all, the foundation was a total fail. I'm so disappointed. If you look, I'm looking into my mirror here. There's all this peeling skin where it's gotten very patchy in here too. And it is collected here in the lines. And look at how my under eye is just pulling here where I put the foundation. So normally I have drugstore foundations that don't look anything like that. This is just such a fail. I'm really disappointed. When I was in Ulta and the lady that worked for Clinique was applying it to me, she said use a little. So I may try it again with even less product, but to be honest, when I put it on this morning, I felt like I had a very thin coat and not too much. I would put that much of my, say, Catrice HD foundation on and have no trouble like this. So far, this one is a fail. Now let's look at the eyeshadow. I think the eyeshadow still looks beautiful. I like the palette. I feel like the eyeshadow primer held on to the shadows really nicely. It's been a long day, and that's what it's been 12 hours since I first applied the makeup. So I think the blush held up nicely. I still see highlighter there. It's not super strong, but it's still there. The lipstick I have, reapplied, and I think the lipsticks are beautiful. I feel like Clinique does a wonderful job with their lipsticks. I've bought them for years and never felt disappointed in any I've bought. Now, the eyeliner, I think that held up really nicely. I don't see a lot of mess under the eye. You do see a little smudging here, but it doesn't look like it's eyeliner. It's just maybe a little bit of mascara. The mascara held up nice. I think it would look even better if I just applied it to the top lashes. I did apply it on the bottom, and most mascaras, unless they're a tubing mascara, I've had great luck with those, will look a little more smudged towards the end of the day, and I haven't done any touch-ups or anything. So overall, I think most of the things I bought worked great except for the foundation. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I'm a little disappointed in the foundation, but the rest of the products are a keeper. Now, all of the links for everything I tried today will be in the description of the video. Let me know your favorite Clinique product. I'd really like to hear if there's something you've used, either from their skincare line or their makeup that you enjoy, or a product you didn't think was very good. Let us know that too. I appreciate you all so much. If you're not a subscriber, I'd love to have you here. And if you'd like more videos like this, where I do a wear test, let me know in the comments. Love you all, and I'll see you soon.